Have you played Fallout New Vegas? I did. That's the game that I played. That's the first Fallout game I ever played. And can you promise you won't unsubscribe to this channel? Promise me that? I didn't like it. You know what my thing with Fallout is? That I thought the idea was so cool. I think Fallout should be like some kind of series. A Netflix series based on Fallout. Like the one with The Witcher. Has anybody watched The Witcher series here? Or the Castlevania series? They're pretty good. They aren't, you know, like, wow, these blew me away. No, but they're great. You know, the Castlevania series was great. So I'd love to see that on Fallout, but playing the games... I remember New Vegas, you start in this abandoned building and sitting on a chair, and the game asks you a lot of questions, right, to determine your personality, and there's a lot of them, and then you finally... You're free to go. And then you go out, and I felt overwhelmed like that, you know. I've said this before, but the reason why I may not like open world games because I feel like my life has been an open world for many years. So when I play video games, I kind of want to be taken from point A to point B. I don't mind. I know linear games are outdated and most people don't like them, but that's what I want to play in all genres, you know, and not just in RPGs, you know. I kind of want to say, you know, I want the game to tell me, you need to go from this point to this point and kill this guy. That's happiness for me. But if you let me loose in an open world and do whatever you want, I'm like, I don't know what to do, man. That's why I quit The Witcher 3. That's what I mean, what am I supposed to do? And then people tell me, you need to go to this place and do this side quest, and then this other side quest, and no, but what about, I mean, I need direction, man. And I have a terrible sense of direction. I get lost very easily. I remember the Tales of Cesteria is not an open world game. I know that, but it does have some small open world features. I got lost all the time. I got lost in a game like that. It's pathetic, I know. Laugh if you want to, but I have a terrible sense of direction. I just can't. Open world games, not for me, man. And then there's this Fallout game on the PS2, and I think it's called Dark Brotherhood, something like Brotherhood of Steel. Is it Brotherhood of Steel? I think. There, yeah. Wow, what a terrible game, man. This fucking sucks, man. The only fun that I have, man, I'll get demonetized for saying this, but I picked the girl and you can play with her in her bare underwear. Really short underwear, and I was happy playing with my girl in underwear. I was like, this is fun. Like half an hour later, I was like, fuck this game, man. I mean, it's part of the. I think I think it's one of the first Fallout games, isn't it? And it's just. I'm not entirely against open world games. I can play some open world games as long as I always know where to go. Like take Xenoblade Chronicles, for example, on the definitive edition on the Switch. Is that an open world RPG? Do you guys consider that game as an open world RPG? Well, if you do, I love that game and I beat it. But because most of the time I knew where to go, there's this like kind of like a GPS system telling you where to go. On Xenoblade Chronicles, I mean, you get this star or this symbol, you know, and you just gotta follow it on the map, and you get to your next destination. You know, I skipped most of the side content in Xenoblade Chronicles. If you guys want to say, oh, he didn't really appreciate the game, he really didn't enjoy it, you know, it wasted opportunity, whatever, you know, that's how I enjoy some games, you know. In some games, I do a lot of side quests. I did a lot of side content on East 9, and that surprised me. You know, I usually don't do side quests in JRPGs, or I barely do them. On East 9, I ended up doing almost all of them. But on Xenoblade Chronicles, I was like, go to this really far away place to beat this monster, and then come back to this other place in the far east to do this other thing, and then you go back to where you were and you get money. Yeah, if that's your thing and you find that fun, good for you. I don't find that fun, man. And some quests in Xenoblade Chronicles had dialogue. I remember you got some more cutscenes, so a little bit more of character development. You know, found out more about the characters. I found that really cool. But I was just too lazy because, okay, if you guys say it's not an open world, but it's kind of like a little bit like that, right? I mean, there's these huge locations where you can just travel around and mess around and fight monsters and fight elite monsters and that, right? So what happened to me is that I just got too lazy for that. I was like, man, okay, if I do this side quest, I'll probably watch that scene. But I just didn't, because what I had to do was so tedious, you know? Like I said, you know, I do this in some JRPGs, but not on all of them.